Wow. I could not have timed that worse. Do you hear Stevie? Do you hear my dog? Literally everything was fine. We're talking about, I'm talking to Noah like, hey, I'm probably going to talk a lot of basketball in this episode. Is there anything you want to talk about? Yada, yada. Just pre-show, run around. I hit record. We record on Riverside. It gives you a countdown. I literally told Noah, I was like, I don't really know how I'm going to start this. We usually have a cold open. I don't have a plan. We usually don't have a plan. But I'm just going to hit record. Literally as soon as it starts, Stevie starts barking. So shout out to Stevie for trying to help out with the cold open. Ridiculous.
Little cameo.
Yeah. He was like, I got you, bro. I got this great idea where I'll just put this annoying sound in the mic the whole time. Honestly, you guys, there's a good chance you guys won't even hear it because I'll do the remove background noise thing.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it'll work because he's still barking. And I have no idea what at. So that's great. I'll roll the intro. I know what you guys are thinking. You promised us Tanner. I didn't promise. I said it was possible. I apologize if I got anyone's hopes up. But, lucky for you, Noah is back. Shout out to Noah for sticking around. Back-to-back days, the absolute grind, the podcast grind. But we don't really have a real intro for the show anyway. And like I said, no Tanner this week. So, unfortunately, and no Caleb this week either. Back-to-back days of not the podcast grind for Caleb, but he is on the work grind. So shout out to him. We had the NBA Finals tonight. This obviously dropping on Thursday. Finals are tipping off in OKC, and I'm super excited to get into this. Noah, I'm not sure how much you're caught up on NBA playoffs, but you have any thoughts?
So I'm hoping for the Pacers, but my brain says OKC.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. Not that OKC is necessarily super hateable, although there is a certain crowd that hates them just because they don't like SGA's foul baiting, which I do think is exaggerated. I mean, he does foul bait, but I don't think it's any worse than most people that foul bait in the league.
Yeah,
they're just mad because he drops to the rack so much that you're going to get a lot of calls at some point. But yeah, I think I would say probably most people are rooting for the Pacers. They're a little bit more of the scrappy underdog at this point, but
right.
Either team winning is going to be cool to see. It's going to be someone's going to get their first championship, so that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I think that's the best part about the whole finals is that it's something new. It's fresh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, a statistic that I'm not 100% on, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure the Pacers and OKC are number 1 and number 2 for the best record post All-Star Weekend.
That would make sense because I remember saying, I think I was talking to Jimmy late in the season, and I was like, man, the Pacers quietly kind of look like they might be getting ready to do what they did last year, which was get hot late and make a run. Granted, last year they've already made it obviously farther than they did last year, so it's been even better, but kind of along those same lines. So that sounds right. And then OKC has just been that good the entire season. I mean, they're historically good. They won 60-something games, which is great coverage by me.
Oh, yeah.
But very good team. This will be a good game. I'm glad the good series, I should say. I'm glad the Pacers won because I don't think the Knicks could really play at the Thunder's pace. No pun intended. They just play a slower brand of basketball than the Pacers do. And it would have been a nightmare watching Brunson and SGA trade free throw line trips. The games would have taken 4 hours apiece.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Cat would have fouled out in every game.
Probably so. Probably so.
His defense is so bad.
Speaking of Cat, we'll get back to the finals. So the Knicks, obviously, for those that don't follow basketball, you can tell we're talking Pacers Thunder, so obviously the Pacers advanced. I have a couple things about Game 6, one of which will be about Cat. But firstly, I went to B-Dubs with James and Jimmy for this game. This was the night James wanted to play Munchkin.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up going to B-Dubs. And there was, like, no one there to watch Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, what has happened to public sports watching culture? There was, like, no one in there. We had to ask them to put the finals on in our area because there was only, like, one TV that had it on. They had college baseball on, not Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And they just had, like, music playing. I thought maybe it's a huge game. Maybe they'll have it on the speakers.
Right.
Because sometimes for, like, a big event, they'll do that. No, it was the most, like, I was scared to talk because we would be the loudest people in the room if we were talking.
Wow.
So we were, like, talking low at our table. It was crazy.
I mean, you would hope that at least some employee at B-Dubs knows ball.
Nope. Apparently not. Or if they did, they didn't care enough to. They must have just been like, I know where it's on, so it's fine. I'm not even complaining that, like, we had to ask for it in our section. It's fine. I was just surprised that it wasn't on.
Right.
It should have been on almost all the TVs. It's a huge game. You know what I mean? It's a huge game. So that was weird. Not sure what's going on with people because, like, you see people out on the roads, you see people online, not at their house. Where are they? Because they're not. Like, no one was out watching the game. I don't know. I guess they're out doing cool things. I don't know. But that was super weird. We were talking about it at the table, like, this. How is no one here? We're the only ones that care about this. But I did start that by saying it was about Cat, which it was not. This is the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, and now people are also saying they want them to trade Cat. I don't know if you've seen any of that discourse.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Again, I know you're not the biggest NBA follower, and for anyone that isn't at all, but maybe follows the NFL, I did my best to translate what this would be like in the sports translator. So, which was just my brain. Some of you will probably say this is way off, but this is my best shot. This would be, so Sam Darnold went to Seattle this year. Granted, he signed there. It wasn't a trade, but ignore that part. He went to Seattle this year. Let's say he takes them to the NFC Championship game. He throws for, they play in each round. They don't have a bye. He throws for 270 and 2 touchdowns a game with 2 total picks over the 3-game span. They lose in the NFC Championship. And then they trade him for Matt Stafford. I feel like this would be the comparison because people want them to trade Cat for KD. And Cat was kind of like that high pick that, granted, he's been, no disrespect to Sam Darnold, Cat has been way more successful than Sam Darnold, but he didn't have that, like, playoff success necessarily aside from last year's run. And then he gets traded to a new city. He plays well. He played really well in this postseason, I thought. He wasn't great on defense, but offensively he was great. And now the Knicks fans just want to give up on him already. I don't really get that. I thought he was one of the bright spots on this team, which is weird.
I mean, obviously you want offensive production out of all your players, but the positions that I feel like you really want defensive production are the big men.
Yeah,
And
it is tough.
You don't really get that with Cat.
No, that's fair.
So, I mean, I can see especially from a fan's perspective, how that could be frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm a Timberwolves fan. Don't know if I'd say die hard, but I am a T-Wolves fan.
Die soft T-Wolves fan.
And, I mean, I liked him when he was on the T-Wolves, but I could also see that defensively he was not the greatest.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had Anthony Edwards to balance that out. But
right now,
you know.
the issue would be, let's say it is for Kevin Durant. You're getting rid of him because he can't play defense. You're bringing in KD, who's not a bad defender, but you're going to now start Mitchell Robinson, who can't. He's nothing on offense. He's a liability because they'll just foul him and he can't make free throws. And then to put KD on the court, I'm assuming you're going to be taking. I don't know who would come off. I'm trying to think what their starting 5 is. Like, is OG going to come off? Because OG's a good defender.
Right.
Or is it going to be Bridges? Bridges going to come off because he's maybe their best defender. Like, you're losing defense to put KD on there and you're putting Mitchell Robinson out there to gain defense, that feels like kind of a wash.
Right.
And then you're trading Cat, who's younger than KD, for KD. Like, KD's still good. Don't get me wrong. He's still a very good player. But I'm not sure that would really solve things for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a little bit of a wash. So it would be cool for the Suns because specifically for Cat and Booker, because I think they've always been really close.
Right.
I believe they're both on that same Kentucky team. So they obviously both came from Kentucky, but those years get mixed. All those one and dones, those years can get mixed up. But I'm pretty sure they played together at Kentucky, so that would be pretty cool to see. But at the same time, it would be so weird to see them trade Cat after a great year. So
right. Especially, I mean, not even a full season, because wasn't that like a...
It was right before the season, so it was a full season. But typically the trades tend to happen in like probably soon here because usually it's like early July. But this was a later, like right before training camp move.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. With Tibbs being fired, I get it. He has been good, but when you get that close and you can kind of like taste it, but they keep burning out every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's at some point you need to shake something up. Cat just got there, so why I don't agree with shaking that up. Tibbs has been there for a little bit, and it's just not quite working out. So I understand it, especially because there's some good coaches on the market who, weirdly, I have not heard tied to their job at all. I've heard every other name except for Taylor Jenkins or Michael Malone. We're talking about Taylor Jenkins, who was fired right before the end of the regular season with Memphis. I think he's a great coach. He's coached Ja, who is as great as Ja is. He is always an issue off the court from a distraction standpoint.
Yeah.
Granted, some of it's overblown, but it still is an issue. And he's like their winningest coach in Memphis history, dare I say, percentage wise. So, and he's still young. Like he could be a guy you could hire, and he could be your franchise coach for a long time if it goes well. Then you have Michael Malone, who could be a Jokic merchant. That may even be the likely answer that he is a Jokic merchant. But it might be worth finding out, right? I mean, he just coached the team to the finals a couple years ago, finals championship.
Right.
So why not take a chance on a guy like that? It's weird to me that I haven't heard either of these names mentioned, especially Taylor Jenkins, because to me that would be my number one target, other than Jay Wright, who, if you don't know, coached Josh Hart, Brunson, and Bridges in college on the same team. But he doesn't want to coach anymore. He's not going to do it. So yeah, I mean, that's the state of the Knicks. It's always something with them.
Now, I will say I did, because I followed that series pretty closely, and very entertaining series.
It was a great series, yeah.
I mean,
it was very fun.
With Halliburton and Brunson kind of being the two marquee players for that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And especially both of their stories being very similar. I mean, they were both kind of, not huge prospects coming out, and especially, I mean, Brunson kind of building his way up.
Say Brunson especially.
Yeah, I mean, because
he was definitely overlooked. Yeah, I believe so. If not, like late first. And then Brunson, like he was overlooked. Like in hindsight, he should have been probably a top at least 5, if not 3 pick. I have to look at that draft again.
But I mean, especially with Halliburton and Brunson being friends off the court, I just thought that matchup was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, the Knicks Pacers, they've always had this like underlying like borderline rivalry. Mm-hmm. Obviously, back in the Reggie Miller days, they had something going. Although some would argue it's hard to call it a rivalry when the Pacers tend to always come out on top. But it's just fun. I love when sports hate each other. I went on a rant about that with WNBA a couple weeks ago. Like, they're not allowed to hate each other. They should lean into it. You should have just teams that are just haters.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it fuels, especially with as far as the WNBA is concerned, because they need as much publicity as they can get.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing brings eyes like drama.
Yeah, and also I don't think you get publicity without drama.
Exactly.
Like, you can't have it. You can't have your cake and eat it too, as they say, which is a dumb saying because that's literally what you do with cake. You don't just look at it; you have it and you eat it. Yeah. That's how it works. That's how cake works. Speaking of Halliburton, Have you seen the video of them giving the Eastern Conference MVP to Siakam?
Yeah, and he's like he like makes a move like he thinks it's going to him.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? I'm gonna pull it up because anyone that hasn't seen it can take a look here. But I'd like to hear what you think. Do you think he was doing the question everyone's asking is, was he doing the Drewski bit from the Celebrity All-Star game,
Mm-hmm.
or did he actually think he was going to win MVP? So
Yeah, we'll go through
for
it real
those of you
quick.
guys that haven't seen it, here's the clip. Here's Halliburton's over here, right here.
It goes to the MVP of the Eastern Conference
Oh, they pointed out too.
and that MVP is Pascal Siakam.
It's like right as he started to walk up, they say Pascal Siakam, and it kind of stops him. Now I think right here, I think they're taking a picture. I don't think he's like celebrating winning MVP.
Right.
I think there's someone that's short because they're around basketball players.
Right.
That's standing over here behind these guys, taking a photo. Maybe this hat right here.
Yeah.
That might be a player. Right here, I see a hand over this guy's shoulder. I think they're taking a picture.
Yeah,
and then I think he just gets
definitely posing.
I think he just gets done with the picture and starts just kind of getting back in formation right as they say Siakam.
Right.
I don't think now granted he probably did think he was winning MVP because he did play well. But I'm not sure that was him like walking up there to get his trophy and then realizing that it wasn't him. I think it was just sort of a coincidence.
Yeah, because I think I definitely don't think he was assuming that he won.
Yeah.
But you definitely know that you're one of two players that are probably going to get it.
Yeah, it was going to be him or Siakam without question.
So, it would make sense to at least get to the front of the pack so that way if they do call your name, you're not, trying to swim through people, or on the flip side, like you want to be there for your teammate.
Yeah.
So, I definitely don't think it was a Drewski moment.
No, I don't think it was. But it did kind of look like a Drewski moment. But I don't think it was intentional. Like, I think people are equating like the pose he was doing for the picture to like the Drewski thing where he's like, "Hey, like I just won." I think that was just crazy timing.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was anything like that.
Yeah. Pretty funny clip nonetheless, though.
Oh yeah.
It just looks just like the Drewski thing. What else do we have here? Yeah, so basically just getting into the finals. I did say I think this would be a good series, which you mentioned earlier, and I agreed. But I do think the Thunder. My gut said Thunder in 5.
Yeah.
But I think you'll have a blowout from each team, and the rest of the games will be really close. Now, I was listening to a podcast today, and someone predicted exactly what I was planning on predicting, which was Thunder Game 1, Thunder Game 2, Pacers Game 3, Thunder Game 4, Thunder Game 5. And now I don't want to be basic. So I think I'm going to say Pacers in 6. Or, sorry, Thunder in 6.
So I could definitely see, I would like to see, because I'm definitely on the side that I do genuinely think that OKC is going to come away with it.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it go at least 6. But I definitely think it's going to go, they're going to trade the first 2 games. I definitely think OKC is coming away with the first one tonight. And I think that the Pacers are going to bounce back game 2 and take it to them.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle's a great coach, so if it takes him maybe a game to see what the Thunder's approach is going to be and attack from there, that's a reasonable thought. At the same time, game 1 is a great time to strike for an underdog.
Yeah.
Because the home team doesn't know what to expect, and they're probably, if any game to catch them off guard, it's when they're just getting started and they still got 4 home games in their pocket.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm super excited. I mean, it's been a great playoffs, and these are the 2 teams that were able to make it out from that great playoffs. So it should be a great series. I'm looking at Andrew Nembhard in this series. I'm really high on Andrew Nembhard just in general. I think he has a lot more in his bag than people give him credit for. He's had a fantastic postseason defensively. On guys like, he just played against Jalen Brunson and was giving him problems. So I look for him to. I'm not sure that they're going to stick him on SGA. Not that they certainly won't, but I'm not sure if they maybe believe more in a Neesmith or something like that. But the Thunder have so many different weapons that whether Nembhard ends up on SGA or Jalen Williams, his impact's going to be felt in this game, in this series. And I think Carlisle just might give him the green light to try and catch the Thunder off guard. Like, I think we're going to get at least one Andrew Nembhard game, like the Andrew Nembhard game, where he was the difference and the Pacers came out on top. So he's actually in my bet for tonight, which I will go over at some point. But yeah, I think the keys to look for are something like that. You're going to need, because the Pacers, it's not always Siakam or Halliburton. There's always at least one sort of role player, even though Nembhard's a starter, that really steps up.
Right.
I've been on here before saying how highly I think of Benedict Mathurin, so maybe it's him. I would love to see that. TJ McConnell's going to bring it. I mean, that guy brings it every night, and now it's the finals, so he'll definitely bring it. We'll have a TJ McConnell game as well. Now, TJ McConnell game is different than a Nembhard game. A Nembhard game, he probably is scoring like maybe 20 points and has this huge impact in that way, whereas McConnell is going to have just a couple scrappy big plays, maybe a save out of bounds or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna notice McConnell at some point in this game. It reminds me a lot of, I hate to be the guy that just finds like a white point guard and just says another white point guard, but the way he plays and the way I expect him to approach this finals reminds me a lot of Matthew Dellavedova with the Cleveland teams, like a decade or so ago, which is crazy. It's been that long, but I'm just excited. I'm so excited for this season. I think this series, I think Chet's going to eat as well. I don't think they really can defend him well down low. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited.
Well,
been great off the ball.
Also, in TJ McConnell news, his sister just got signed to the
Sun, or no, the Phoenix Mercury. I always get them mixed up because Phoenix Suns. Yeah, the Mercury. I saw that.
So I mean, he might pop off tonight just off the heels of that.
Yeah, look, when TJ McConnell was younger, I'd like to line it up and see. It probably wasn't his rookie year. Me and Caleb have talked about this before, but we went to the Sixers game, and there was this guy, I want to say he was wearing DC gear. That might be who they were playing, in fact, which would make sense. And he had a sign that said, "Hey, TJ McConnell, sit down, be humble, just like Eagles fans during conversations about Super Bowls." The longest sign ever. Like, but you can't put that many words on a sign. And obviously you can tell this was right when Kendrick Lamar's Damn came out.
Yeah.
Because that's his whole sign was based around be humble. And so my biggest question mark with his sister, with Megan McConnell, is I don't know if she's humble enough. We've seen from her brother, clearly he needs to sit down and be humble. Maybe she needs to sit down and be humble just like Cardinals fans during conversations about Super Bowls. I need that guy to show up to one of her games with that same sign.
Right.
Shading on the Cardinals for no reason, just catching strays. Funny thing is, the Eagles won the Super Bowl that season.
Oh yeah.
After he made that sign, the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl.
Was that the Nick Foles season?
Yeah. So that was funny. So maybe, although it would only matter if the guy were to go to one of her games and just be a hater, which is not going to happen. But I'll say maybe a Cardinals Super Bowl feature. But yeah, shout out to that guy somewhere out there. It'd be so funny if he stumbled upon this show. It was like, that was me. It's like the Leo meme. I did that. If you did, I think about your sign 4 times a week, every week for my life since then, and it's been a long time. So, shout out to that guy. Oh man, you have anything else on this series?
I mean, just going along with what you've said, I definitely think it's going to be entertaining for sure. I'm interested to see what SJ does. I was looking at some of the betting lines today, and I think it said that the Thunder were minus like 110 for to win by 25 plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They will. I mean, they probably will have a game where they do win by like 30.
I think
even if it's a good series,
SGA was plus 440 to score at least 30 points a game. Just some absolutely wild lines. But I mean, very interesting. I love wild lines like that in sports. But
Yeah, it's always fun.
now I will say the minus 110 to get blown out by 25 plus is crazy.
Yeah, it's disrespectful. That's
but-
insane.
I mean, I know that typically when it comes to NBA, like if you've got a team that's a double digit, spread, if they're up by, they're thinking they're going to be up by double digits. That team usually wins. They're usually not too far off on that. It's not like the NFL where it's like, they could be 14-point favorites, but get blown out by 21.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not great for the Pacers.
Right.
But hey, I mean, if there's one thing this Pacers team has done this season is break the mold. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, what was their live line in the final minute of that game 1 against the Knicks? I'm sure it was plus like 20,000.
Yeah, absolutely wild game.
And it was one of the craziest basketball games I've ever watched. I do have a parlay for game 1 if anyone wants to tail. So this is going to be I did a favor for you guys and stopped myself from doing a 10-leg parlay for you. I was going to do 5, so naturally it's 6 because I had to add one more. So that'll be the one that misses. But all right, so here's the 6 legs that I have for game 1. And you can place this bet at insert ad space here. Please contact Yelling at Pigeons Pod to purchase this ad space for your sportsbook. You can get Isaiah Hartenstein for 10 points, Benedict Mathurin for 10 points. We're going Andrew Nembhard over 11.5, TJ McConnell over 6.5, Lou Dort 3 threes, and Hartenstein 8 boards. This is going to run plus 15,524, and that means $10 would get you 1552. So basically free money, but also that's not financial advice, and I'm an idiot, so don't tail it. But also, it would be fun to tail it.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. But yeah, that's my bet for the game. I mean, I'll have more, but that's the one I specially cooked up just for the pod. Just for my gift to the listeners.
Now, eight boards. Like, what do you know what he averages typically? Like, is that pretty far north for him?
He kind of fluctuates. 8 boards as far as the 2 rebound increments that they offer on here, which you can do an alternate to do 1 by 1, but the like presets are 2 by 2. For 6, he's minus 230. For 8, he's plus 138. So he falls in between there. Now he is kind of due though, because his last 3 games of the past series, he only had 6, 6, and 5. So, but his minutes were probably lower in some of those games because I want to say one of them he was in foul trouble, and then they also had a couple blowouts where he probably wasn't in the game.
Right.
So those 6s could be an 8, or that 5 could be an 8. So I think I envisioned myself sitting there. It's the first quarter, and the first quarter's almost over, and I'm looking at a live bet saying, "Oh, I should take Hartenstein for 8 boards. He already has 3." So if that goes as planned, if I'm basically that so Raven for sports, then
that's so sports.
Yeah, that's so sports. That's not a bad name, podcast name right there. Yeah, if it's that so sports, then he's going to have 3 rebounds, at least 3 rebounds by the end of the first. So if your sportsbook offers a first quarter rebounds line on him, maybe take that. I really wish there was a sportsbook that offered offensive rebound lines, specifically offensive rebounds, because as a degenerate who loves plus signs, I know that those lines would be like offered at the crazy numbers, and I would love to bet on that.
Unless you're betting on Angel Reese.
And actually, she probably, if you're betting on her, it's probably like minus 300. She gets a lot of offensive boards.
Most of them are hers.
The self rebound,
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound like a hater, but statistically speaking, I believe she had like, what was it? I think she had like 3 times the amount of self rebounds than second place last year. Like the next runner-up had like 3 times less than her. Just not even close.
Dang. I mean,
So,
I would say you're kind of breaking even. I don't think that's being a hater or hyping anybody up, because you're saying that their offense is terrible, but their defense is pretty dang good.
Yeah, or hey, spin zone. That's fundamentals. Misses fundamentals. They used to call Tim Duncan big fundamentals. This is big but not as big fundamentals. This is tall lady fundamentals. Misses fundamentals because she's following her shot.
Yeah.
That's like the first rule of basketball. When you get an old head in a gym, back in my day, they used to teach us you always follow your shot. She's following her shot, even though her shot's from right below the rim, so she would pretty much have to actively run away to not follow it. She's following it.
Yeah.
She is following it.
Hey, the timing on those jumps, very good.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It also helps that she's like a little bit taller than everybody.
Yeah. Come on the show, Angel. You're a Marylander. So are we. I'm trying to think before we wrap things up. Is there anything NFL that is notable this week? I mean, I know Bryce Huff got moved to San Francisco.
He did.
That was a little
still no sign of Aaron Rodgers.
No sign of Aaron Rodgers. Saquon on the Madden cover. That's cool. Pretty cool looking cover.
Also, me and James are both stupid because we both, when we first saw, I'm sure you saw the clip of like them recreating it.
You were like amazed at how he was like floating.
Yeah, I was like, dang. I was like, that man really got some airtime. And and then I saw an alternate angle where you can see the cables.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oof.
To be fair, I kind of thought the same, but it was so unbelievable that I was just like, there's got to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a day or two to see if there's another angle. You know, I
definitely deferred to like. I mean, I know Saquon is just a phenomenal athlete, so I'm like, hey, I believe that he could do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because he could, obviously, we've seen he could do that jump,
right?
But to freeze midair like that for an extra like half second, I'm not sure that physics would allow it, no matter how athletic you are.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was cool when I kind of thought the same as you. When I kind of thought there wasn't harnesses, I was like, pretty cool. I think I'm witnessing maybe like an actual alien or demon. I don't know. We haven't had that like movie yet. I feel like we've seen every variation of like battles and extraterrestrial. Give me aliens versus demons. We're not even involved. We're just watching.
Yeah.
It's all the humans are all cowboys versus aliens.
Fire.
Stuff like that. Like, what about one where the humans are just the crowd and we're just watching the demons and the aliens go at it? That might be kind of fun.
The demons are actually the good guys. They're fighting off the aliens.
Yeah. I guess in a weird way they almost inherently would be, because the aliens are in order for them to be fighting the aliens,
they have to be alien. Yeah.
Have to be here. Like they'd have to be coming here.
Right.
So
because then they wouldn't be aliens.
Yeah. You got
unless the demons invaded another planet.
That's an interesting concept as well. Like, we like Mars. It's hot here.
Or I mean, who says the demons are exclusive to Earth?
That's true. That's a good point.
Big brain. These
are the questions you come here for.
Yeah.
Who would win if a demon or an alien?
Big alien doesn't want you asking these questions.
What's a better compliment for an athlete? If someone would say he's a demon or he's an alien. Not what sounds cooler. What is a better compliment? Because I hear both of those thrown around.
I think alien.
Alien's pretty good, but
because when you say alien, you're insinuating that we haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
For where demon, you're basically just saying like, yeah, you're good, like you're a beast.
But demon, you're kind of inherently a beast, whereas alien, you're just different. But that doesn't necessarily
could be bad.
I mean, in the context, it's obviously good different,
right?
But I never really thought of that. Would I rather be called a demon or an alien? Something to think about. Comment if you would rather be called a demon or an alien. I want to know. Oh, shout out to. Let me double check because this deserves a shout out. Last week we had obviously a ridiculously long episode. It wasn't the sports one, but I forgot to mention this yesterday, so I'm going to mention it here. I think I remember who it was, but I don't want to jump the gun. Yeah, Bradley, Caleb's friend Bradley. When we were way deep into the podcast, at one point we were like, I don't know how. There's no way anyone's still listening, and we were like, if you're still listening, comment your favorite power tool. And Bradley commented, "Give me a table saw." So great pick, Bradley. That's a good choice.
Solid.
Also, I'm seeing 19 hours ago, Caleb said, "How about a Glenn Powell soap?" So Caleb must have been listening like as soon as it dropped. I mentioned that, Caleb. Did you not finish it? Rude. He must have. That shows that that's just our brains continuing to be in sync, because I was like, yeah, we'll do a couple soap with the Glenn Powell soap. So Caleb will be your first customer.
Also, little sports news.
Okay.
TST started today.
TST,
which that is the
tournament.
It's the charity soccer tournament that Pat McAfee's in. Concava FC.
He plays in it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He had a crazy assist last year. But earlier today, there was a goal that was scored. The guy had shot it from like midfield, and it was an absolute laser and went over top because the keeper was too far out and he couldn't track back in time, and it went in.
That's awesome.
Insane goal.
It's like sound like me on Rocket League. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that started. Oh, also other sports news. So the Savannah Bananas are going to be in Camden Yards, July 1st and 2nd. Cool. Which I will be in attendance.
Nice. Right. What's the ticket running for that?
I am not too sure, but I did look at the resale tickets just because I was curious. Resale tickets, cheapest one I could find was $196.
Whew.
Yeah. Now, granted, it looked like the range was between that and like $300.
Yeah. That's wild, though.
I guarantee you we got them for way cheaper. It was one of those things, they were doing like a lottery that you could enter, and they would basically, like if you were selected, they would allow you to buy up to 5 tickets.
I'm glad you mentioned this, because I was going to say, you have baseball teams struggling to sell tickets, and then you have Savannah Bananas. You have to do a lottery like it's a Jordan release.
Yep. To
even be allowed to buy a ticket. And that reminded me, I had bookmarked this. I wanted to talk about it. Did you see that the Marlins broke the
MLB
MLB record? There we go. For lowest attendance in a game.
Really?
Did you see this? They had. Why don't you guess? Guess how many people were at. I'll give you a little bit of context. They were playing the Rockies, who are also very bad.
Bad, yeah.
Guess how many people attended the game?
342.
Wrong. Now, before I say this, I am getting this information via Third String Sports. Not familiar with them, and they only have 1,000 followers, and they're followed by Ballsack Sports. We didn't follow that anyway. Whoops, this might not be true. The picture looks pretty bad, though, unless it's AI. Let me zoom in. I hope this isn't AI. I'm going to say not AI, but it also could be from, like, batting practice. Anyway, if this is true, they had a whopping 137 people in attendance.
Wow.
That is really bad.
I just double checked you with a Google. That is true.
Okay. Whew. Delete that. There was never a doubt. We'll edit that out. We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post, yeah.
Yeah. Where's my orange phone? I got my basement yard shirt on. Edit that out. Double checking the bookmarks here to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's a weekly occurrence. Let's see. Inside the NBA, officially done at TNT, which we knew was coming, but sad to see because the finals are on ABC, so that's it. They are supposed to merge with ESPN in some way, like not Turner Sports, but Inside the NBA specifically. I think they're going to like partner with ESPN to allow them to use the IP so that we can still.
Oh, nice.
So there may be some weird crossovers there. We might get like Stephen A. on Inside the NBA, or like who knows? Who knows? But it'll be interesting.
But also, just want to bring up, NBA is not the only finals going on right now.
Yes.
We are also in the Stanley Cup Finals
Mm-hmm.
with
Game 1 was last night.
the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. I'm definitely going Oilers here. Big Connor McJesus guy.
Yeah, I was say McJesus getting it done.
But I mean, I like the Panthers. Don't get me wrong, and they are the definition of longevity because this is their third straight finals.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
But no, I'm definitely going Oilers there, mainly just because of Connor McJesus.
Yeah, I'd like to see him, win the big one. Everyone says Connor McDavid can't win the big one. I would be a little sad if they won because I did have a parlay that paid out like 26,000, I think, or would have. That had the Lakers to win the finals, the Oilers to win the cup, and the Fever to win the WNBA finals. If the Oilers win, I feel very good about the Fever this year. So it'll just be my own Lakers that, it'd be your own boys. So that would be sad. But yeah, I would like to see McDavid win. I was listening to a show this week. I don't remember which one it was. I would have no shame in shouting them out. I'm sure it was something at Barstool. But someone asked, are the Panthers the biggest waste of a successful sports team in the major sports? In the sense that no one in that area really cares about the Florida Panthers that much. Or at least not as much as a team that's as good as they are. Whereas if they were in a different market, their fans would be way more like locked in.
Yeah, no, there was actually a post from FanDuel today that said that Matthew Tkachuk, who's a player for the Panthers, says that his first time grabbing food after being traded to the Panthers, a local asked him what he did for a living, and he said he played hockey. And the person replied back, "A hockey player in Florida? You must not be very good."
Dang. And that, first of all, boom, roasted. And second, that goes to show, like, we talk about are they a waste being there and being so good. She doesn't even know. She, I assume, is a local and doesn't even know that joke doesn't make any sense because the Panthers are very good.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, definitely, I would definitely agree. Probably the biggest waste. Like, if they, win, I mean, what does that parade look like?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just a bunch of people that are mad in traffic.
That would be awkward. Yeah, I'm also rooting for the Oilers because when Jeff Skinner was on the Sabres, I don't really pay attention to the Sabres. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but he was like one of the few players that I knew who they were, and I rooted for him. He was, maybe you could weirdly say, like my favorite player. I don't really have a favorite player, so it feels weird to say that. But I liked him when he was on the Sabres, and he's an Oiler these days, so it would be cool to see him get a ring.
Yeah. Also, to pivot real quick, something that I thought about earlier today, NFL related. I have a inkling that I think Davante Adams being on the Rams is only going to make Puka better.
Okay.
Because we know Puka's got hands. We know he can make the tough catches. The only place that I feel like Puka kind of struggles is his footwork.
Mm-hmm.
And you pair him with Davante Adams, who is known for his footwork and route running.
Yeah.
Like, and if he can, I mean, mentor, just best word I can think of, but
yeah.
If he can just learn from him and kind of get that footwork, I really think Puka could take a step up this year.
Yeah, I mean, you're bringing in one of the best route runners in football in the last, decade.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to learn from that, and I know you're using I don't remember what term you used to describe his footwork, but you're using it loosely. I know there's a Rams fan out there somewhere like, what do you mean he's not? You're not saying he doesn't have, like, he has bad footwork. It's just
right.
He's so good everywhere else.
That's the one place that's not top tier.
Yeah, exactly. So bringing in a guy like Adams could help a lot. Yeah. Speaking of receivers with excellent footwork, did you see that video of Stephon Diggs on the boat?
100%. Yeah. Couldn't miss that one.
What was that he was handing out?
I don't know. It was pink, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pink. Some are speculating that it was. I don't remember the technical term, but it's basically pink cocaine. It's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a common drug in the professional sports world is Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And also I don't know. And you know, maybe it was just maybe he only likes, you know, pink Starburst or like pink Skittles, and like that's all it was. I don't even know if they have pink Skittles.
Yeah,
but
it's just crushed up pink Smarties or something.
yeah.
That's all it was. So yeah, this is so pink cocaine, also known as 2C, which is a combination of ketamine, methamphetamine, cocaine, and fentanyl. If I'm reading this right, I'm also skimming, so that could be. Some of those could be this isn't in there. Some of those could be it is. We're not a drug podcast. We're a sports podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play a whole lot of Schedule 1, but you know, I'm sure that's how it's made.
Yeah, probably so. So they didn't have any. My best cocaine knowledge comes from Snowfall. They didn't have any 2C in Snowfall. 2C wasn't around in the 80s. So
You said it's like
yeah,
Tucci, like Stanley Tucci?
2C. TUSI.
I was say if it was Tucci, that'd be fire.
Tucci.
like you just Stanley Tucci just having a drug named after him that he doesn't use.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be funny. But yeah, I mean that's people are saying this is wide receiver 1 activities. It is. I will. It is being on a boat, just surrounded by a bunch of different women, despite being in a relationship. That's definitely wide receiver 1 activities. It made me feel a little bit better about him being on the Patriots because.
Oh yeah.
Not that it's like it might not necessarily affect his game, but so like if he was still on the Bills, I'd just be like whatever, as long as you show up on Sundays and you're ready to roll. But at the same time, the headlines would be so annoying.
Oh yeah.
Because when he was, when he had him on the Bills, I got to experience firsthand how much it's always something with him, and not even always his fault, but sometimes it is. And either way, it's annoying. So
also.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of when I saw that video was I'm sure you've seen it, but years ago when he was still in the Vikings, they were walking around and they were asking everybody if everybody on the team, like who would you not want to date your sister?
They all said Diggs.
Yeah. So I mean, not a great look when all your teammates are saying that.
That aged. I guess you could say it aged really well.
Yeah.
Aged really well.
It's a good thing they didn't do that on the Texans back then.
Yeah. Who would you least on the team want your sister to give a massage?
That probably wouldn't age well because I feel like a lot of people would not have said.
Yeah, they're like, who on the team would you want your sister to date?
Right.
I mean, unless it was clear behind the scenes that he was a weirdo.
Right.
Publicly, Watson was seen as a great guy. So they might have all been like, you know what? Deshaun. Yeah, I think Deshaun.
Team captain.
Yeah, Deshaun. P. Diddy. I think P. Diddy.
Great guy.
Yeah. All right, we usually do a quick grid before we get out of here. So we can rip that real quick.
All right.
I was thinking maybe do an NBA one because of the finals, but I think we're just going to stick with football because why not? You've played Immaculate Grid before, right? You know how it works?
I have not, actually.
Are you familiar with it at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I might be introducing you to a new daily activity.
Oh.
I don't remember to do it every day. Honestly, I only end up doing it on this, but it is fun to play every day. So here it is. They have a new one every day. You have to match it up. So we need a player that played at least one snap in their career in regular or postseason for both the Seahawks and Colts. Fitting that we got the Colts because it's different teams every time. And then you just follow along. So for the audio listeners, we're going to need a Raider and Seahawk. We're going to need Jets, Seahawks, and then we're going to need Ravens, Colts, Ravens, Raiders, Ravens, Jets, and then 50-plus career sacks, Colts, Raiders, Jets.
Okay.
Noah, why don't you start us off? I will say, we usually try to go for players that other people have said less because it'll give you a percentage. So we try to get the lowest percentage. But at the end of the day, we'd rather have it be correct than have it be wrong. So even if it's a high percentage, that's fine.
All right. Well, I can knock off the top row right off.
Okay, yeah. Give me some Colts.
So Colts, Seahawks, Jacob Eason.
Now, here's where it gets tricky because you're right. But did he play a regular or postseason snap for them?
I know he played one for the Colts. Preseason,
It has
maybe.
to be for both. Has to be regular or postseason. It really annoys me. That's my biggest critique of this.
Okay.
Because I think it should just be, if they signed a contract with the team as a player, it counts.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean? But unfortunately, it doesn't. They have to have taken at least one snap.
All right, let's see. Now,
I don't even think it counts if they were dressed for a regular season or postseason game and didn't get in. I think they had to have played. Like, even down here, no players must have played in a regular season game or played.
Gotcha. I mean, he may have played a snap because I'm pretty sure Jacob Eason was on the team when they were looking for their quarterback. Like, before Geno really got solidified there. So maybe. Yeah. But we can move on. We can come back to that one.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
So Colts, Ravens. We got Arthur Jones.
Okay, hold on. I lost it. Arthur Jones. I like that. Who is Arthur Jones?
He's a defensive tackle. He's
this
also
2010 to 2017.
Yep. He's also brother of John Jones.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with him. Yeah, the third one. He's the third Jones.
I think he's the oldest, actually.
Yeah, John. They're all from like Rochester, like up near Buffalo. Arthur, John, and Chandler. Who have we heard from Chandler Jones recently? Because last time we heard from him,
not great.
Yeah. Come on the show, Chandler Jones. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah. 0.7. Great poll for your first ever square.
I know my boys.
0.7 is very good. 50-plus career sacks for the Colts. Now,
I mean, there are different ways you can go.
Yeah, if this were so sometimes they'll have like single season stats, like ran for 1,000 yards in a season or had 10 touchdowns. When it's that, they have to have done it with that team. 50-plus career sacks. I think career stats. I don't think it matters how many they had with that team as long as they played for that team and also in their career had 50-plus sacks.
Okay.
So obviously you could go with like Freeney or Mathis.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
are there any random like Jerry Hughes would count? Or if there's anyone else more niche you can think of.
Let me see. I don't know if there's anybody niche for the Colts that have had 50-plus career sacks. I mean, if I wanted to take a shot, maybe Pat Angerer, but that would be a real shot in the dark.
Okay. I think we should just go Jerry Hughes then. I know for a fact he had over 100.
And I know Robert Mathis did, for a fact.
Yeah. But I think Mathis and Freeney are going to be the go-to
choices.
So
wait. So
I think Hughes will be lower.
So you said that for the career, like, it's not just their career on the
for the career ones, to my understanding, for the career ones, it doesn't matter how many they had with that team.
Okay.
As long as they played for that team and in their career had that many.
Gotcha.
They have some that are seasonal, and those have to have been accomplished with the team.
Yeah. No, I'm down for Jerry Hughes for sure.
Okay, cool. Love Jerry Hughes. 0.6, let's go. It's a good start. 0.7 and 0.6. All right, let's do Raiders 50-plus sacks. Let's do I feel like everyone's going to put Max Crosby.
Yeah.
But there are other options. Khalil Mack, which also probably will be pretty high. But we could go with is it Simeon or Simone Rice?
Oh, Simeon Rice.
Did he play there? I know he played for the Patriots and I want to say the Bucks, but I feel like he played for the Raiders.
That I'm not sure.
We might have to go with one of the more obvious ones then, because I don't feel.
But I feel like Khalil Mack would be a solid one.
Yeah, it's going to be. If I had to guess, Khalil Mack is going to be in. Yeah, I was going to say 36. Yeah. That's going to be my guess, but we'll throw him in there. Khalil Mack. 29.
Okay.
Yeah. Could be worse. I mean, I thought it was going to be 36. So, all right, Jets.
Well,
Calvin Pace?
yeah.
Was that his name? Was it Calvin? He was like number 90 something. He played in like the Revis era.
Yeah, I think it
Or
might be
just
Pace.
before Revis.
And then, I mean,
And
there's
if
always
only
the
we
obvious...
had a Jets fan on the show.
Let's see. Well, I know well, I guess that would be an obvious one. The Jets Ravens.
CJ Mosley.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think it would be cheating to, as long as I committed to, no, because then I'll just put Calvin Pace either way.
Right.
No. To just look up if that's his name, and as long as if his name ends up being like something else Pace, I'm still putting him no matter what.
Yeah, because I'm
not looking up the stats, just his name.
Right.
Would that be cheating?
I don't think so.
Let me just confirm that it's Calvin Pace. I mean, I guess if I type in Calvin Pace, his name's going to come up.
Oh, yeah.
If that's what it is. 2003 to 2015. That does fit the era that I said.
Hey, go for it.
I'm going to send it.
Yep.
Let's go.
Hey, 0.9.
Shout out to Calvin Pace.
Wild pull.
0.9. Oh, let's go. All right. Like you said, Jets Ravens. Obvious would be CJ Mosley.
Yeah.
But there's got to be one that's more niche. Do we have a DB?
Rashad Perryman?
Oh, did he play for the Jets?
I know he played for the Jets, but...
Okay, he definitely... He was drafted by the Ravens.
Yeah. I'm pretty... now you're making me second-guess myself.
Uh-oh.
But, I mean...
I have another one. It might be a high choice, but I know it works. It's Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Didn't he play there with Rex Ryan for like 1 year?
Did he?
I know he played for Houston. Did he play for 3 teams though? Because I think he played for Rex Ryan, because when Rex Ryan was coaching the Bills, Ed Reed was like a DB's assistant coach. And I think it was because but he coached them in Baltimore. He coached Reed. Now I'm second guessing it, but I feel like I can see him in the number 20 Jets jersey. Ed Reed. The thing is, it might not be worth putting Ed Reed, because if it's risky already, and then if he did play there, then a lot of other people probably got that.
Yeah.
So you're going to risk it for what would be a high percentage one if he did play there. So, only other, I'm thinking if there's any random QBs that... Oh, Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, very true.
That might do okay.
Tyrod would be a good one.
You want to roll with that? That might do decent.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one that I know for a fact that he played for both teams.
Without a doubt. Love Tyrod Taylor. 7.
What a picture.
It's so gross, and he looks so short. That's so funny.
Oh, man.
I do love Tyrod, though. That's shout out to Tyrod. Raiders, Ravens. Would this be Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah.
I think he played for the Raiders, right?
Yeah, that's a wild pull. That's got to be Lil.
Nelson. And we was catching him, unlike Aguilar, all time. 13, not bad.
Wow. Higher than I thought.
Yeah. I'll take it, though. Okay, Jets, Seahawks. This could be... Leonard Williams, for sure. It might be high, but Leonard Williams. If we need to use that, we can. That's good to know.
Did Marshawn ever play for the Raiders?
Marshawn? He did. That's probably like the number one answer, but at least we have it. If we need an answer, we have it, Matt Flynn played for both, but did he play in a game for both? That's the question.
I'm fairly certain he played a game for Seattle.
Yeah. And he probably did for the Raiders because they were down pretty bad at the time.
Yeah. I mean, you just want to send that? Or do you want to go for the guaranteed? 'Cause, I mean, we could go for a clean sweep. Granted, I'm still not 100% on the Colts Seahawks.
I have a crazy idea for Jets Seahawks, and I want to bounce it off you and see what you think. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Hollister. I know he's been a Jet. I just don't know if it was regular season at all or not. And I know he's been a Seahawk because when we cut him, he went to the Seahawks.
Man, I really wish another one of these teams had Drew Lock on it. But,
Yeah, same.
Oh,
Geno also works.
Oh yeah.
But I think Leonard Williams would be lower than Geno.
Yeah, for sure.
I have another really good one if he played a regular season game for Seattle. I think he did. Brandon Marshall, the receiver.
Oh, yeah.
I know he played
sure
for Seattle because his picture on this, I've used him for like Denver, Miami before.
Mm-hmm.
His picture on this is in Seattle, the Seattle jersey. And it always reminds me like, whoa, he did play for Seattle.
Right.
I think we roll Brandon Marshall and see if it works. Thoughts?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh. Brandon. Brandon Marshall. Oh, that's awesome. This always trips me up. It's the 06 one because he played with Jay Cutler in Denver. 7%, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, now we have Raiders and Seahawks, which we briefly discussed. Could be Matt Flynn. Maybe we save that. Maybe we do Seahawks Colts. Did we have an idea for that?
I said Jacob Eason, but
we did talk about Eason, but scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like you guys shared a running back at some point? Do you ever have Travis Homer?
Oh, Robert Turbin.
Yes.
Yeah,
Robert
that was great. Way to jog my memory there.
That was good teamwork right there.
I love Robert Turbin.
Didn't he have to retire because it was he the one that had to retire because he hurt his back or something or his neck?
I think
No,
so.
that was the other Seattle running back. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that all night. I don't remember his name.
I think Turbin did have to retire early though.
Yeah. 3%, and he's got the Colts jersey on in the pick.
Nice.
What a stud. All right, I think we just roll with Matt Flynn just for the suspense because we have one guess left and one square left. Again, if this was based on did they sign a contract with them, this would be 100% certain. But let's see. 3%. We got it.
Wow.
Let's go. Cleared. So, yeah, I mean, that was immaculate grid. They have a new grid every day. So, fun to play.
Yeah, that was sick.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in if you're still here. Yeah, I was going to say if you're still here, comment something, but I think I told you guys to comment something earlier. I don't remember what it was, though. Oh, if you'd rather be a demon or an alien. If you'd rather be called a demon or an alien. If you're still here, comment if you'd rather be called a demon or an alien.
We probably lost a lot of people right there.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening. And Noah, anything before we go or ready to roll?
No, I think I'm good, man. Happy to be I think I'm going to be a career backup, so I'd go with that.
Always on the, what do they call it? On the bump? On deck? Is deck? That's the word I'm looking for?
On deck.
On deck. Yeah. On deck. Okay, yeah. All right, well. Nah, that was fun. Okay, that's it. I never know how to end these things. Peace.